Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So lovely of you to be here. As you may or may not have noticed, the developers of Dress to Impress have once again blessed us with a ton of brand new themes, some of which are niche or retro styles from other countries that you may or may not have ever heard of before, but to me these are some of the most prettiest and exciting themes that they added. So in order to help you slay these new themes, I decided to make this video explaining a few of the themes that are likely to be less well known. I will also provide an example outfit for you as well as reference photos. A quick disclaimer, I'm obviously not an expert on all of these fashions and substyles. I've just been around the block a bit and have an understanding of them from the perspective of someone who has lived through and been exposed to quite a few of these trends. So without further ado, let's get started with the first hard theme. Number 1. Hipster fashion. Hipsterism in the 2000s and early 2010s was basically a counterculture to the hyper-popular, normal trends of that era. Hipsters barely ever referred to themselves as hipsters, rather they were typically given this title after falling into the alternative fashion and music scene. In simple terms, they're people who are trying really hard to look cool or different, but don't want to look like they're trying too hard. Elements of hipster fashion include, but are not limited to, thick rimmed glasses, even if you don't actually need glasses, knit beanies, skinny jeans, mustaches and beard motifs, checked flowy and loose shirts, and fedora hats. They could be seen holding a coffee or showing off a particular hobby that they picked up to try to differentiate themselves from the crowd. Number 2. Mori Kei. This is a cozy fashion from Japan that I am personally very excited about the developers adding to Dress to Impress. Also known as forest girl or forest boy, this natural fashion evokes the comfort one might feel if they lived off the grid or in a forest separate from urban society. Mori Kei should use earthy color tones and soft off-whites to give off a very calming vibe. It also usually features lots of layering and airy, loose clothing. You could also try using floral patterns and wearing a chunky scarf and hiking boots. A substyle of Mori Kei called dark Mori also exists. It's basically the same thing as Mori Kei, but in a darker color palette. Give this a try if that sounds more appealing to you. Number 3. Frutiger Aero / nostalgia. You may have come across the Frutiger Aero aesthetic when it was trending on TikTok, but to refresh you, it is basically stock imagery that was used very often as tech backgrounds and wallpapers in the 2000s and even early 2010s. It's meant to show an idealized version of our future. It also features natural scenes like grassy hills and goldfish swimming in flowing water. This probably was used to help introduce people to the new advanced technology that was being released at the time. Here are a few nostalgic items that might inspire you and encapsulate the Frutiger Aero aesthetic. Windows Vista, Nintendo Wii and DS, iPod, iMac, and the iDog. I recommend using the main color scheme of bright blues, greens, whites, and maybe orange as an accent color to really give Frutiger Aero. You may also want to use goggles, sporty jackets, baggy sweatpants, and leg warmers. But this theme also includes nostalgia, so you could make a look based off of anything you're nostalgic for, honestly, and it would work. Number 4. Surrealism. The Surrealism aesthetic is all about finding the beauty in the unhuman, the bizarre and strange. I recommend using skin tones that are impossible for a human to have, and incorporating layers of clothing that makes you look otherworldly. Another idea that may help you creatively is to think of something entirely mundane and flip it on its head. For example, maybe instead of 2 eyes, you have just one or multiple. 5. Hardcore punk. From what I've gathered, hardcore punk is a countercultural movement that got its start in the 1970s. It's a style of music that usually has a higher tempo and more aggressive sound compared to just regular punk. This one can get really tricky if you're not really indoctrinated in the hardcore punk scene, since plenty of hardcore punk listeners will tell you that there isn't really a set fashion style for this rough and loud music genre. However, here are a few elements that I've seen repeated in the clothing worn when going to a hardcore punk show. Leather jackets, chunky chains and belts, camo cargo pants, band shirts, and sometimes spiky, wild hairstyles. Number 6. CyberGoth. CyberGoth is a subculture of goth that emphasizes a highly futuristic, post-apocalyptic aesthetic. You may have seen this iconic video of a CyberGoth dance party, so basically try to dress like these legends are dressed. Usually CyberGoth outfits feature mostly black, paired with a specific bright neon color of your choice. Some key elements of CyberGoth you could try to include are masks, gas masks, fishnets, chunky chains and belts, fluffy leg warmers, goggles, and voluminous or springy hair. Number 7. McBling. McBling is a Y2K aesthetic that is all about decoing or blinging up items such as flip phones and jewelry. This fashion might remind you of old websites like MySpace or Blingy, which were websites where you could fully customize blogs and images with sparkly stickers and digital decorations. Some McBling closet essentials include, but are not limited to, leopard print and other animal prints, low-rise jeans, flip phones, juicy tracksuits, miniskirts, and handbags. Basically, this style is very Y2K Bratz core. Alright, that's all I have to share today. Hopefully everyone is having fun with these new themes and will feel a little less confused if you ever run into these during a game. If you found this video helpful at all, I would really appreciate it if you left me a like or a comment sharing your thoughts. Are you happy with the new themes that have been added in the latest update? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye!